Lutz. And your Lewis and Clark Pioneers. The Lewis and Clark Now let's meet the starting lineups. First for the visiting Lutz of Pacific Lutheran. From Beaverton, Oregon, a freshman 5'7" guard, number 3, Josie Napoli. From Tualatin, Oregon, a freshman 5'9" guard, number 10, Cassidy Javernick. From Spokane, a junior 5'7" guard, number 11, Maddie Simmelink. From Puyallup, Washington, sophomore 5'10" freshman, number 32, Ava Edmonds. From Toledo, Washington, a freshman 5'11" forward, number 34, Stacy Spar. The Lutz are coached by G.C. Hilburn. And now the starters for your Lewis and Clark Pioneers. From Laguna Niguel, California, 5'4", senior guard, number 5, Peyton Romo. From Bellevue, Washington, 5'8", sophomore guard, number 10, Eva Richards. From Corte Madera, California, 5'7", junior guard, number 13, Gabby Beltran. From Fort Collins, Colorado, 6' senior forward, number 25, Delcy Johnson. And from Fortuna, California, 5'11", sophomore forward, number 40, Charlotte Carroll. The Pioneers are coached by Ann Doris in her first season, assisted by Scott Pasapia, Neva Hauser, Grace Dirksen, and Rebecca Gimeno. The officials tonight, Michael Ann Watts, Jillian Quinn, and Sydney Mott. right, with that, we welcome you into our Pioss Stream broadcast. Right now, PLU leading 2-0 so far, just underway. Lewis and Clark taking on the Pacific Lutheran Lutes. Ryan Goff with you courtside. Shot from the left side is off the mark by Simmelink. Offensive rebound keeps it alive for the Pacific Lutheran Lutes. Thank you for being with us. Pioss Stream with you for the first Northwest Conference game of 2021-22. Both teams have been in action in the non-conference schedule. Lewis and Clark comes in with a 3-4 mark as a turnover on the PLU end. 8:31 to play. Lewis and Clark on top, failing to be on top yet. 2-0 lead so far for PLU. Lewis and Clark is 3-4 on the year. First meeting between these two teams. PLU's men's team was in this gym just last weekend for a non-conference tournament. As a shot was off the mark, PLU can't get the rebound, stays with the Pios on Lewis and Clark's side. 3-2 the overall record for PLU's women's team. Like I said, the men's team was in this building, played in the tournament, but did not take on Lewis and Clark. Right side, Beltran, bounce pass for Carroll, lost the handle on the right block, slips out, and it's a turnover to PLU. 2-0 lead. Shot was made by Napoli. Younger lineup, GC Hilburn, the head coach of PLU. Driving in, Napoli tries to squeeze it through, and it's kicked away. You have Javernik, 5'9" freshman, 5'7" freshman Napoli. Simmelink is a junior at 5'7". Go with Edmonds, a 5'10" sophomore, and Spar, a 5'11" freshman. Long three, Napoli put it through from dead center, and it's a 5-0 PLU lead. 7:45 to play and a turnover. Pioneers give it away. In gray, some yellow trim for PLU. A traveling call against the Lutes. Pioneers make a change. They start with Richards, Beltran, Johnson, Romo, and Carroll. Beltran comes out in for the first time. Carly Mackay out of San Jose, California, 5-foot sophomore. Good production so far from Mackay. A solid passer. Pioneers need that on this team. Everything out on the perimeter. Pioneers looking for their first points. Mackay. Right side pull up, long two on the right elbow, no good. Mackay leading the team at 2.7 assists per game. Up the floor, PLU pull up three and another travel. It's been a host of travels so far for PLU. Lutes have committed 3 turnovers so far in the game's first 3 minutes. Napoli leading the team in points, best three-point shooter as well. Here's a three for Lewis and Clark. Johnson hits the three. First field goal with 6:51. Johnson three. Pioneers down 5-3. Best rebounder on the team is Spar with 8. Turnover, Pioneers take it. Richards pull-up jumper, they make it. The game is tied. 5-5, Pioneers quick 5-0 mini run. And another steal. Richards, a sophomore, takes it away. Left-handed layup was fouled. First foul charge to the Lutes. That one's whistled to Spar. Or rather, Edmonds gets the whistle. Edmonds the first. With 6:21 to go. Out goes Napoli. In for the first time, Maddie Plevac. Richards from the free throw line makes it. Pioneers' first lead of the game on the season. Richards misses the second one to the left. Good box off by Spar. Romo's been reliable from the free throw line. Richards just hitting 50%. Split the free throws there. Pioneers up 6-5. 6 minutes of play, driving layup. Does not go. Pioneers want to run. Malachi near sideline. Good job, PLU getting back. Johnson wants another three. Missed off the front edge. Edmonds runs down the rebound. Pioneers lead remains one, approaching the halfway point opening period. First Northwest Conference game. Here's a long shot, doesn't go for Edmonds. Pioneers get the rebound for Carroll. Turnover. Up the floor. Coast-to-coast transition doesn't work for Javernick. And PLU's gone a little bit cold. Not scored a field goal for over 2.5 minutes. Romo, sidestep three on the way. Hit it! Pioneers on top by 4. Largest lead of the game for Lewis and Clark. 9-5. A 9-0 run. Malachi picks up the ball handler. Similink to the left. Toss back for Edmonds. Puts it on the floor. To the rim, bumps Carroll and draws a foul. And there's a timeout with 4:54 to play in the opening quarter. Pioneers pick up their second team foul. And we'll have free throws when we come back on Pios Stream. As we went to break, said the foul was charged to Lewis and Clark. It was not. It was charged to PLU, an offensive foul by Edmonds. Pioneers make changes, leading 9-5. Shot from the near side. Richards off the mark. Rebound pulled down by Javernick. And a travel again. Another turnover. So far, PLU has committed 7 turnovers in the first 5.5 minutes of the game. Natalie Elstone's in the game for Lewis and Clark, has the ball on the left wing, throws to Coco Schaefer, also entered at the timeout. Out to Mackay, drives right side. Bounce pass. Richards jump stop, missed it just a bit off to the left. And here comes PLU. Lutes have not scored since the 7:32 mark of the opening quarter. We're down to 4 minutes to play in the period. Plevac looking for some help. Napoli returns the game in for the first time. Is Jada Wood, freshman out of Port Angeles, Washington. Left side, Javernick off the mark. Elstone the rebound for Lewis and Clark. Spar stays out there at the high post. Woods guarding man-to-man as well on Johnson. Switch Mackay, step back long two. No good. Pioneers remain up 9-5, rebound controlled by the Lutes. Skip left side, Napoli for three, hit it! And finally the drought is over. And a timeout is taken. No field goals for the Lutes from 7:32 to 3:15, but right now, a 30-second timeout taken by PLU.
Lutz trail. Pioneers have been on top the whole time. Back in Portland, Pamplin Sports Center, 9-8 lead for Lewis and Clark. A drought of over 4 minutes with no field goals. PLU just ended that big three-pointer. And back to work go the Lutz, or excuse me, the Pioneers, excuse me, in the orange unis. Love the orange. New kit for the Pioneers a couple seasons ago. Into Schaefer. One dribble, hook shot. Slides off, no good. Johnson almost had an offensive board. Can't bring it in. Johnson's the reigning Northwest Conference Student Athlete of the Week and has been outstanding, ranking nationally in double-double. She pulls down rebounds, scores the basket. Good stop. Shot on the way, hit, three-pointer, and the lead swings back to PLU. That was Wood with the assist. Third three-pointer made by the Lutz. Javernick brings in the missed shot by Lewis and Clark. He had Plevac doing a nice job. Another shot from the left side. Plevac again. Can't put it through. Excuse me, that was Wood. Elstone the rebound. 2 minutes to play. First quarter. Richards in transition for Lewis and Clark carried the ball, and the Pioneers commit a turnover. Lewis and Clark giveaway number 4. Pioneers bring back in Carroll. Laurel Marchant's in for the first time. Pioneers senior guard out of Claremont, California. And then Jessica Cerny in the senior year out of Washington, 5'8". Cerny, tremendous speed, is a heptathlete for Lewis and Clark track and field as well. Pioneers trail 11-9, second time the Lutz have led. PLU has had a lead of as many as 5. Napoli wants it back, pulls up for a long three, skips off, no good. Elstone has had good minutes as of late, played really well in the Thanksgiving tournament, can shoot really well at a Churchill High School in Eugene, Oregon. Gives it off to Carroll, driving left. The game is tied 11 apiece. Minute 30 to play, opening period. Bounce pass. Spar couldn't handle it. Pioneers can't gather it either. Ball stays with PLU underneath. Underneath inbound. Elstone crossed over. Driving inside, falling to the ground. Javernick couldn't make that go. Left side, Cerny from Marchant. Good job getting back by PLU. Javernick is number 10. Similink is number 11. Similink in the middle right now. Nice drive by Cerny. Couldn't get it to fall, and it stays with Lewis and Clark. 54 seconds to play. First quarter. Inbound, Carroll puts on the ground, drives to the rim, fouled, and she scored. Pioneers get their second lead of the game. Nice drive for Carroll, and good to see Carroll hit a couple of early shots. 2 for 3 so far, as Carroll missed all of her shots in last weekend's Thanksgiving tournament finale. That foul was charged to Wood. Free throw was good. Third team foul, Wood's first. Pioneers up by 3. Napoli. Right side, scoop shot, doesn't go. Nice effort with the right hand. Elstone, the Lewis and Clark Pioneers have a 5-on-3 break, and Elstone threw it, tipped away, got it back. And now, stolen by Similink. Javernick traveled. Of the 8 turnovers that PLU has now, about half have been travels. Pioneers bring back in Romo to replace Elstone, final 23 seconds. Inside, kick right. Cerny on the ground, drives to the rim, scores it with 5 seconds left. Pioneers up by 5. Heave, three-quarter court, Similink miss it. The Pioneers lead 16-11 at the end of the first quarter. Back to Pamplin Sports Center in just a little on Pios Street. To 11, Lewis and Clark, first shot made out of the quarter break. Pioneers back up by 7. Big three from the corner. Makes it 18-14. That's a shot made by Katie Cook. 18-14, 9-12 to play. Answer three for Marchant, too strong. Thanks for being here. 18-14. First Northwest Conference game of the year, and another turnover, that time out of bounds. Stepping on the baseline. You see the records: Lewis and Clark 3 and 4, PLU 3 and 2. Right side baseline doesn't hit. Back up the floor. Javernick feeds it forward to Edmonds, drives with 2 fouls. Stopped by Carroll, and Carroll reached over the top. You can hear the coaching staff for Lewis and Clark say no because they just noticed Carroll put the hand out. And that's whistled. First foul on Carroll, first team foul. Edmonds to the free throw line for PLU. So far, the Lutes have hit 4 of 8 from the from three-point range. Pioneers have made 2 of 8. Edmonds' second best free throw shooter on the team makes it. Pioneers bring in Coco Schaefer. Had a short stint in the first. Out on the floor with Johnson, Cerny, Marchant, and Roma, all seniors right now. The senior class for Lewis and Clark has been together a long time. Even played together last year when there was no competition season because of the coronavirus pandemic. That's the third foul charged to Edmonds. Edmonds picks up the third personal foul just a minute and a half into the second period. Leading scorer in the first period, 8 points from Napoli for PLU, 5 from Carroll. Cerny, shot hangs and falls. The 2-point bucket for Cerny, 20-15, Lewis and Clark. Pioneers are 36% from the floor, 28% for PLU. Block shot, Cerny. Got Napoli. Romo in the front court. Cerny, right baseline, double teamed, backed it out. And a turnover. Ball went to the middle. Looking for Schaefer. 2.5 minutes gone by, second quarter, 2015. Lewis and Clark on top, another travel. Cook took off. It didn't set the feet first. So Similink comes back in, replacing Wood. Pioneers bring back in Richards. Be good to see Richards get going, 1 of 4 so far. Started the game back in now with a second quarter clock showing 7:20. Richards on the left wing. Romo, open look from the top. Oh, it skips away. Schaefer battling, can't get it. Cook had positioning. The officials say it goes to PLU. Lewis and Clark Pioneers opened up the season winning on the home floor. Beat Multnomah 76-70 after a loss to begin the season overall at Northwest. Inside, nice work. Javernick makes it a 20-17 game. Pioneers won back-to-back games, in fact, to start the year. Beat Schreiner 61-58, but have lost 3 of the last 4. Richards, open look, right wing. Too strong. Romo tips the rebound, controlled by Napoli. Up to Javernick. Inside, nice defense. Marchant held the ground. It was a no call, as it should have been. Marchant was in perfect position. First Javernick to work around. Tipped off of Marchant, out of bounds. Underneath with 24 seconds left. Inbound, wide open, Javernick, good find. Similink underneath, and it's a 1-point game. Pioneers have led by as many as 5. Same for PLU, opened up to a 5-0 lead. Marchant off a screen, drives left side, over Napoli, missed it. Rebound by Spar. Left to right in gray, PLU. Napoli sizes up Marchant, stops 10 feet out, kicks left, Cook. Kind of has a big kind of axe throwing motion on that jump shot, but Cook's hit 2. And the 4th lead change of the game. We have 6 minutes to go until halftime, 22-20 lead for PLU. Johnson tries to tie it and does. 22 all, 5:45 to play in the second. And a timeout taken with 5:44 to go. Second quarter. Second timeout taken by PLU. Lutes have 2 left on Pios Street. We're tied at 22 apiece. That's the PLU men's team. They'll play next, 8 o'clock scheduled tip-off from Pamplin Sports Center. You saw some replays. Johnson hitting the jumper. Johnson for Lewis and Clark now 5 points, 2 of 3 shooting. PLU first year coached by GC Hilburn. High fives abound on the Lutz bench. Lutz have tied things back up with 5:42 to go in the second. Third tie of the game. Mackay comes back out for Lewis and Clark, defending Simmeling. Look down low, Spar couldn't handle it, tipped it back in to save it, and it goes right to Richards. Turnover. Lutz up the floor. Richards stop and pop missed. Richards is 1 of 6 shooting so far. Ball in the hands of Plevac. Good bench minutes for Plevac so far. Made the only shot and 2 rebounds so far. Driving left. Simmelink kicks to the corner. Open look 3 from Taylor Schmidtke and hit it. 6th three-pointer made by PLU. The Lutz are back up 25-22. 2 shy of the best lead that either team has had so far. 4:43 to go. Richards back to Carroll. Swing it left. The whistle away from the ball. They call Schaefer for the foul. Oh no, Schaefer for 3 seconds. Johnson comes back in. (25-22). Lutz leading Lewis and Clark. Simmelink against Mackay. Goes around the screen from Wood. Wood takes off, goes right side, double team, threw it over the top. Offensive rebound by Spar. No reset, 15 to shoot. 3 left wing, another one. 7 first half 3-pointers for the Pacific Lutheran Lutz, largest lead of the game for PLU. And the Lutz are on a decent little run with 4:12 to play. Pioneers have gone nearly 2 minutes without a field goal. Not a big drought, but the Lutz have been hitting shots. Richards misses left wing. Pioneers led 16-11 at the quarter break. Lutz have outscored them right now 17-6. That one spins out. Spar pulls the rebound away, and then the officials whistle. They say Charlotte Carroll picks up Carroll's second. Cerny back in for Lewis and Clark, and then Logan Kelly for the first time checks in. Romo out, Carroll out. Kelly, Rio Linda, California, 5'11" senior. Second foul on Lewis and Clark in the period. Lob into Spar. Right side Johnson. Flops down and gets the call. Spar picks up Spar's first. 3:44 to play first half. But 7 of 11 from 3 so far for PLU. Lewis and Clark has taken as many attempts, has made 2. Pioneers have just not got going from beyond 3-point range. Romo and Johnson each have one. Richards off a screen, throws out to Johnson. Left side Cerny. Down right block is Kelly. Cerny works that direction. Mackay on the left wing now, fills through. Cerny, runner! Bank shot won't go. Rebound Spar for PLU. Lewis and Clark 2.5 minutes without a basket. Lutz had 4 minutes without a bucket in the first period. They've been winning this battle so far. Jump ball. Mackay and PLU Simmelink were tied up. And PLU has the jump with 3:09. Stays on the Lutz side. Back in is Napoli. Napoli in for Similac. 8 points for Napoli. 6 from Cook off the bench. Hit those 2 3-pointers. Plevac comes out as well. Inbounders Napoli, right side underneath. Running out of time, threw it in, tipped. Johnson has it, stole it away. That was Cerny, excuse me. Schmidtke's back in the game for PLU. Final 3 minutes opening half. Northwest Conference basketball doubleheader to start the year. Kelly open lane right side, what a drive! Couldn't get it to finish, contested by Wood, and Wood had the rebound. Pioneers stuck on 22, down 6. Wood driving in, acrobatic shot doesn't go. Spar's put back, rolls off the back, no good as well. Lutz cannot increase a game-high 6-point lead. Mackay, floater won't go, bounces right to Kelly. Out to Richards, another floater, and that one finally goes. Pioneers' drought ends after 3.5 minutes. Quickly up the side, Javernick, offensive foul. And the Pioneers take a timeout. 2:16 to play. Opening half. Richards, can that spark the Pioneers? We'll find out. They trail 28-24 on Pios Stream. Welcome back to Pamplin Sports Center. Lewis and Clark trails 28-24. Pioneers trailing in bench points, 15-6 in favor of the Lutes so far. Pioneers, though, slight advantages in points off takeaways and in the paint. And Lewis and Clark has the ball down 4. Richards, a big bucket a moment ago, gives it up to Johnson, right side Cerny. Skips it over to Mackay, 12 to shoot. Squeezes through, man-to-man defense stripped away. Napoli and Wood in the vicinity. Javernick out there for PLU as well. Plevac comes in out of the Lewis and Clark timeout. Left side, Richards. Nice crossover, swings it back. Mackay for 3. Over the top, no good. Cerny. Shouldn't have had a shot clock reset. There's probably going to be 2 to shoot for Lewis and Clark. Pioneers caught a break. So there's 1 second left on the shot clock. Pioneers can do something with it. Inbound right side. Bounce pass, tried to squeeze it to Johnson, missed it high off the glass. A shot clock violation against the Pios. Cerny wasn't in great position to get a shot off anyway before the error. So really, PLU kind of got what the Lutes likely should have received anyway. Stays a 4-point Lutes lead. Napoli starts the offense left, throws back right. Javernick into the corner near side. Down low, Mackay, watch the mismatch down low against Wood. Javernick ignores it, drives in. Missed the shot. Pioneers have the ball. Minute 18 left, down 4. Richards outside to Johnson. And a traveling call. Mackay just kind of slid. Maybe some moisture on the floor or something like that. Piper Curry's in for Lewis and Clark. First year from Nampa, Idaho. Minute 9 remaining. To shoot. Shot no good. Rebound Lewis and Clark. Pioneers can cut it to 1 possession. Nice pass. Nice shot. 28-27. stays with PLU. Great defense. Mackay down low, fronting on Wood. Kind of unconventional look. 14 to shoot for the Lutes. Mackay still battling with Wood. Wood's 5'9". Mackay reaches, trying to get the ball away. And this time they call a foul. That's just the third on the Pioneers. They whistle it on Cerny. Mackay is 5 foot. Wood is 5'7", 5'9". Plevac comes out back into Similink. Forward to shoot. Outside, pull up, blocked. Tavernick was blocked, and the Pioneers able to get within one at halftime. Nice block by Cerny. Halftime from Pamplin Sports Center. Lewis and Clark led by 5 going into the quarter. Pioneers now trail by 1 at the end of the first half on Pios Stream.
Lewis and Clark is amazing.
Beautiful campus, small classes.
When you really come here, you get this sense and the feeling that this is a place that you could spend 4 years.
I was so comfortable learning and growing here.
There's no ostentation, there's no pretension, no status. Everyone's just here to learn.
To this bustling metropolitan area.
The overseas program is give you the opportunity to explore the world, go to places that you never thought of. Just come here, just visit this school, and you're gonna fall in love with it.
It's time to explore Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark is amazing.
Beautiful campus, small classes.
When you really come here, you get this sense and the feeling that this is a place that you could spend 4 years.
I was so comfortable learning and growing here.
There's no ostentation, there's no pretension, no status. Everyone's just here to learn.
To this bustling metropolitan area.
The overseas program is give you the opportunity to explore the world, go to places that you never thought of. Just come here, just visit this school, and you're gonna fall in love with it.
It's time to explore Lewis and Clark.
We invite you to join us.
It's time to explore Lewis and Clark.
I'm Frances Swanson. I am a senior at Lewis and Clark, and I'm majoring in environmental studies with a concentration on the politics of greenhouse gas emission reduction among G20 nations. My partner in this project was Corey Grodenfeld, who's studying abroad in Spain right now. We'd both been taking classes that touched on gentrification and the uneven development of sustainable infrastructure like solar panels in our classes. We worked with Central City Concern and Empower Oregon to put solar panels on the Sally McCracken, a affordable housing building run by Central City Concern in downtown Portland. So the Renewable Energy View Fund provides grants for students who want to do research or a project or whatever relating to renewable energy. From the initial classes that we were taking that introduced us to these issues, to working with the Career Center and the Entrepreneurship Center and other faculty and advisors on this project, we couldn't have done it in almost any other school.
I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. You can see it in my eyes. You can see it in my eyes. I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. I made it. I made it. I ain't planning on just doing what I can be. Yeah. Tin can, ouch. You overdid yourself. You're a piece of flack with a smile on your side. Sing out loud. Frequencies emanate from your gut in a chorus so hollow. Oh my God, this is real. He fell down. Now it's time to.
Lewis and Clark is amazing.
Beautiful campus, small classes.
When you really come here, you get this sense and the feeling that this is a place that you could spend 4 years.
I was so comfortable learning and growing here.
There's no ostentation, there's no pretension, no status. Everyone's just here to learn.
To this bustling metropolitan area,
The overseas program is give you the opportunity to explore the world, go to places that you never thought of. Just come here, just visit the school, and you're gonna fall in love with it.
It's time to explore Lewis and Clark.
we invite you to join us.
It's time to explore Lewis and Clark.
I'm Frances Swanson. I am a senior at Lewis and Clark, and I'm majoring in environmental studies with a concentration on the politics of greenhouse gas emission reduction among G20 nations. My partner in this project was Corey Grodenfeld, who's studying abroad in Spain right now. We'd both been taking classes that touched on gentrification and the uneven development of sustainable infrastructure like solar panels in our classes. We worked with Central City Concern and Empower Oregon to put solar panels on the Sally McCracken, a affordable housing building run by Central City Concern in downtown Portland. So the Renewable Energy View Fund provides grants for students who want to do research or a project or whatever relating to renewable energy. From the initial classes that we were taking that introduced us to these issues, to working with the Career Center and the Entrepreneurship Center and other faculty and advisors on this project, we couldn't have done it in almost any other school.
I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. You can see it in my eyes. You can see it in my eyes. I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive.
Back in Portland, getting set for the start of the second half. Lewis and Clark saw PLU put in 4 of 4 from three-point range in that second quarter. Big reason why the Lutes flipped a 5-point deficit to a 1-point lead at the end of the first half. Lewis and Clark has the ball to start the second half. Pioneers 1 of 6 from 3 in the second quarter and 3 of 13 overall. Good first half in every other way for Eva Richards except shooting. Richards 3 steals, 1 assist, a rebound, but just 2 of 8 shooting. Pioneers have the ball first in orange, right side of half court in the half. Peyton Romo, Gabby Beltran, Eva Richards, Delcy Johnson, Charlotte Carroll. Good to see Carroll 2 for 3 and a pair of rebounds in the first half. It'd be nice to see Carroll and Richards get going together. Carroll driving left side, double teamed, shoving around, and called for a double dribble. Turnover Pioneers. And that's the big thing too in that first half. PLU 14 turnovers. Close to half of those were traveling calls. But the Pioneers just an 8-6 edge in points off turnovers. 5 points for Delcy Johnson. No, Delcy had 8, excuse me. Carroll and Richards had 5 apiece. 8 points for Josie Napoli to lead the way. Napoli on top right now. Drives right, kicks it out. Open look. 3's off the back. That's Ava Edmonds playing with 3 fouls. Richards make that Romo in transition. And stepped out of bounds. Pioneers turned it over. 5 turnovers by Napoli in the first and just 1 assist for the PLU point guard. Ball in the hands right now of Maddie Simmelink. Gabby Beltran to the floor, looking for help. And a jump ball forced by Simmelink. That was a great effort by Beltran. So PLU keeps the ball. Beltran, great job in backcourt. You have Stacy Spar on the floor for PLU wearing gray and gold trim. Ava Edmonds, like I mentioned, sophomore with 3 fouls. And then Cassidy Javernick. Beltran hit the floor hard, tangled up with Simmelink. And Beltran whistled for the second. Leading scorers for PLU, Napoli averaging 17 per game. Edmonds had 13. With those 3 fouls, Edmonds just didn't have a lot of time on the floor in the first half. Played just over 5 minutes. Edmonds on the top, skips it left. Javernick couldn't get the shot off in time. 3 seconds called on Spar. There's been a handful. Well, handful is not the right term. There's been about 3. But yeah, 3 seconds definitely being watched for this year. Seen it in games prior to tonight too. This is the first Northwest Conference game. Pioneers played in the Thanksgiving tournament last weekend. Richards missed off to the left. Carroll battles for the rebound, gets the putback. Can't score, but a foul. This one's charged to Simmelink, the first team foul number 1 as well in the third period. Yeah, Pioneers 3 and 4 on the year. Lewis and Clark lost to Cal Lutheran 71-70 at the buzzer. And then just could not get going offensively against Walla Walla. Lost 63-50. The lefty Carroll makes the free throw. But this is kind of the dynamic of this team too, because you have a lot of the seniors, as we mentioned, had an all-senior lineup at one point in this game. Free throw missed, rebound stays with Lewis and Clark. We're tied at 28 apiece. But you look at Richards and Carroll, that's a pair of sophomores, right? They're going to be a big deal for the Pioneers. Beltran Jr. Carroll driving left, battling, and is called for a travel. Pioneers give it away. Just underway in the third, 4th tie of the game. Napoli's the point guard for PLU. PLU, similar situation. I mean, this is a very young team. GC Hilburn, the head coach. First time we've seen a Hilburn team in Portland. Bounce out to Edmonds. Through a triple team, lost it almost twice, tied up, and Lewis and Clark has the ball back on the arrow. GC named the interim head coach spring of 2020. Was an assistant prior helped the Lutes win 25 games, including a 14-10 season back in 18-19. Pioneers regain the lead. Fifth lead change of the contest, 30-28, 7:45 to play in the third. In transition, Napoli, nice pass across the lane, open look, left side, Similink. Scatters off. Johnson, the rebound, smashed down. And that's in the vicinity of Edmonds. It would be Edmonds' fourth. It is. So Edmonds has 4. And the PLU second leading scorer, sophomore, is out of the game with 7:34 to play in the third quarter. Limited to basically 8 minutes of play so far. So Romo, Beltran, Carroll, Johnson, and Richards, the starters for Lewis and Clark. Napoli had to come out, and Jada Wood is back in. Wood in the first half played 13 minutes, 3 points, 2 rebounds, no turnovers. Good minutes from Wood, and a really entertaining battle between her and Carly Mackay from Lewis and Clark in the post. To go straight to Johnson, out to Romo, 3 on the way, no good. Pioneers still can't get it to fall, 3 of 15 from 3. Napoli up the floor. Beltran steering Napoli to the left, threw it away. Pioneers have a 5-on-4, Napoli's well behind. Up the floor, squeezed it to Richards, hit it. Timeout, PLU. PLU's used 3 of the 4 timeouts. Lewis and Clark up by 4 on Pios Stream. Lewis and Clark has started the third quarter, 5-0 run. Pioneers lead by 4 over Pacific Lutheran Northwest Conference opener. Thanks to Lily Moffat, our producer upstairs, the entire Pios Stream crew. Lutes 3-2 on the year. Lewis and Clark 3-4. Pioneers have lost 3 of 4 coming into this game. Meanwhile, back-to-back wins in Southern California for PLU coming into this game. Wood in for the 4-fouled Edmonds. Is on the bench. Maddie Plevak has come in as well. Plevak, excuse me. Ball down to Spar in the post. Just too much of a lead. Turnover, PLU. Lutes, 19 turnovers in less than 2.5 quarters. Johnson working in the post against Wood. Carroll, a spin, is called for a travel. It looked like just 2 steps on the replay. Not entirely sure Carroll wouldn't have put a third on the ground. Into front court, Similink, one of the lone juniors, pass it off the back of Wood. I don't think Wood was expecting it. Jump ball. Third jump ball of the period. 6:16 to play. PLU keeps it. Yeah, the starting lineup, Napoli's a freshman out of Beaverton, and then Javernick out of Tualatin, that's near Beaverton, freshman as well. So 2 Portland area starters, the only 2 Oregon players on the roster. And then Woods in the freshman year, Edmonds a sophomore, Spar a freshman. The latter two started tonight. Spar has it right side. Throws it out. Long three by Wood. Long ricochet rebound. Tipped and controlled by Carroll. Pioneers 3-on-1. Carroll goes straight to the hoop. Missed it. Johnson the rebound. Puts it back in. Lewis and Clark up 6. Largest lead of the game for Lewis and Clark. 34-28. 5:54 to play. It was tipped in the backcourt, says the official. No backcourt violation. Pioneer student section starting to matriculate in for the doubleheader. Shot no good by Similink, and last touch by PLU. So yeah, Johnson has 10 points now. Johnson's been good from the floor, 4 of 5, 6 rebounds, very much destined for another double-double. That goes back to what we were telling you in the first half. Johnson 9th in the country in double-doubles, 4th in free throw attempts. Johnson's been getting a high volume from the line. Coincidentally, none tonight. Johnson had it stripped. Tries to get it back, cannot do so. Katie Cook is back in, hit a pair of threes in the first half, has the rebound. Feed ahead, Javernick got free. First points of the third quarter. The 5:14 mark, 34-30, Lewis and Clark up by 4. Yeah, congratulations to Johnson and Brendan Patrick of men's basketball. They swept the weekly awards for the Northwest Conference. Ashara Sorensen's in, left corner. Romo drives in, make that bounce pass into Carroll. Transition, stumbling down. Wood, or Plevac never looked good to go. In the paint, Johnson fouled. Now free throws coming up for Johnson. That one's charged to Cook. 3rd team foul, and we step aside. 4:38 to play in quarter number 3. Pioneers lead by 4. Johnson at the line when we come back on Pios Street. Back in Portland, Lewis and Clark leads 35-30 after Johnson makes the first free throw. Johnson into double figures just a few moments ago, misses the second. So Johnson right now with 11 as the game high. Pioneers have 7 from Richards. Napoli still at 8 for PLU. Napoli has not scored in the second half. 3 from the corner. Plevac, nice splash, 35-33. 8th three-pointer of the game. Napoli's on Beltran, right wing. Johnson had it stripped. Didn't see Javernick. Turnover, Lewis and Clark, 16th of the night. Pioneers have not had a clean night either. That's nearly a dribbling mishap for PLU. Instead, a foul is called. Coco Schaefer's in the game, and Schaefer picks up her first. Team fouls 2 for Lewis and Clark, 3 for PLU. It's third quarter, 3:56 to play. Napoli to inbound, box it around the lane for PLU. Johnson, Sorensen, Schaefer, Romo, and Beltran for Lewis and Clark. Into Spar, gives it back. Napoli kicks out. 3 on the way. That's Cook. Banked it, missed it. A rebound controlled by Lewis and Clark. Sorensen's been great so far this year. Sorensen's minutes just on a up and right trajectory, both in quantity but certainly in efficiency. Sorensen's put in some good minutes every time she's been out here. Catch and shoot 3 by Romo, no good. And Sorensen, offensive board. Case in point, outlet pass though in the backcourt. Johnson, a dead sprint. Tries to get it back on the ground and saves it for the Pios. Up to Sorensen. Can't handle it. Tipped away by Cook. 9 to shoot for Lewis and Clark. What a sequence. Great hustle for Johnson and Sorensen both. Wow. Simmelink and Edmonds back in. Edmonds returns with 3:19 to play. Edmonds has 4 fouls. Beltran and Lewis and Clark Pioneers a 35-33 lead. Beltran lobs it down too shallow and it's stolen away by Cook. Pioneers giveaway. PLU down by 2. Napoli, great defense from Beltran. Napoli got past and scores. Still great defense by Beltran. 35 all, 6th tie of the game will be the next one. That's the 5th. Schaefer, fronted by Edmonds down low. Sorensen starts to the left. Pioneers defended in man-to-man. They're trying to front the post. Romo, crossover. Bounce pass out. Beltran, open look for 3. Can't get it to go. Schaefer, offensive board. Out to Romo, another 3. Hit it! Pioneers get their 5th from deep. Lewis and Clark up on PLU. Nice answer from Napoli, heating up. We're tied at 38. Mentioned Napoli had not scored, now hit back-to-back buckets. 5 points in the quarter and pushed Beltran, and Napoli picks up her first team foul, number 4. So Richards, Piper Curry, and Jessica Cerny back in for Lewis and Clark. Richards started this half back in. Cerny and Curry in for the first time in the second half. Schaefer and Romo stay. PLU makes changes as well. Taylor Schmidt-Key returns. Napoli, Cook with Spar and Simmelink. Schmidt-Key played 3 minutes and scored a 3-pointer in the first. 2 minutes to play, third quarter, tied at 38. No team is led by more than 6. Cerny drives right side, got a step. Floater won't go. Cerny so far is 2 of 6. Napoli, watch Napoli at the top of the key. That's the hot hand right now for PLU. Simmelink 0 for 4. Now at the top with Cook, who's hit 2 of 3 from deep. Made the first 2 of the night. 9 to shoot, step back 3 on the way. No good, airballed. Oh, it bounced right off of Schaefer's hands. And Schmidt-Key had the rebound. 6 lead change, 40 to 38, PLU on top. Pioneers wanted an over the back on that Schaefer rebound. Did not get it. Pioneers down 2. A little bit of a mini run right now. Cerny stop and pop, tied it back up. Minute 7 left. Richards comes in to help. Skips it out. Schmidt-Key hits another 3. 10 made 3-pointers for the Lutes. 43-30. Driving in, Cerny blocked but fouled. I thought Napoli had that clean, might have been with the body if it's called on Napoli. It was. So that's the 5th team foul, Napoli's 2nd. 45 seconds to play. First half numbers, mentioned some of those stats earlier. Time with the lead, Lewis and Clark led for 8.5 minutes. PLU led for 9. So it was very much a back and forth game in this second half so far feels very similar. Free throw for Cerny is good. Romo comes out, Natalie Elstone comes in for Lewis and Clark. Elstone 4.5 minutes, went 0 for 1 from the floor, but pulled down 4 rebounds. So Edmonds is back in for the final 45 seconds to replace Cook. 43-42, Lewis and Clark down 1. Same margin by which the Pioneers trailed entering the period. It was a 28-27 lead at halftime for PLU. Bounce pass in the post, spinning, falling down, missed the high off the backboard, and then a foul is called on the rebound. That means 2 free throws for Lewis and Clark. .29 seconds left. Foul was charged to Spar, second foul on Spar. Free throws no good by Cerny. Made the second. Pioneers tied up at 43 all. Final possession for PLU. Lewis and Clark has the right to the basketball to start the fourth. Richards trying to get it now. And a reach-in called against Richards. That's Richards' first. Napoli comes back and Edmonds is out. No, Edmonds to inbound. They replace Javernick. Where's Schmidtke? Watch 12. Watch 12, right side. 12's had the hot hand. 2 for 2 from three-point range. Elstone has Schmidtke. Napoli's played really well in the final half, but slipped down. Turnover PLU. Coach Hilburn for PLU is trying to argue something. Yeah, Schmidtke 1 for 1 in the first half from 3. Napoli was 2 for 5 in the first half. Napoli's now 4 of 7 with 13 points. That's the game high. Richards, Pioneers can take the lead. 4 seconds down low, looking for Curry. Too shallow again on the pass at the buzzer. Edmondson off the front of the rim. We're tied going to the fourth. Pioneers led after the first. PLU led after the second. We're tied going into the fourth quarter on Pios Stream. We're tied 43 all going to the fourth quarter. Lewis and Clark has the ball at Pamplin Sports Center in Portland, Oregon. Pioneers made one more three-pointer, whereas PLU put in 3 in the third quarter. Pioneers have made at least 6 three-pointers last 3 games. Right now, 4 of 18. Richards, Curry, Beltran, Schaefer, and Romo. Richards in trouble. Trying to look for some out. Got to Schaefer. One dribble shot, missed it. Rebound controlled by Spar. PLU right now shooting 35% for the game, as is Lewis and Clark. Very even in that respect. Nice move by Edmonds. Missed the layup. Putback won't go either. Still battling. Out to Romo. The Pioneers able to recover. Edmonds playing with 4 fouls. Johnson has 11.6 rebounds for Lewis and Clark, none on the floor to start the period. Into Schaefer. Left-handed hook shot does not go. Schaefer looking for her first shot to fall. Tied at 43, 1 minute out. We'll see Johnson come back in. Carly Mackay for the first time in the half as well. Pioneers get a steal. Beltran. One arms it, other side, Richards open look for 3, hit it. Lead swings back to Lewis and Clark, 7th lead change of the game. Nice take, but too shallow on the shot by Edmonds. Trying to get Edmonds going, feed up to Richards, 1-on-2. Elevates, fouled, and scored. That one's charged to Javernick. Second of the game on Javernick. Richards, Carly Mackay in, replacing Curry and Beltran. Great game for Beltran. Mostly defensively, Beltran's played really well tonight. Richards makes it, 6-point lead for the second time. Lewis and Clark up 49-43. Very similar to the start of the third quarter. Pioneers kind of swung momentum. PLU closed the gap late. Napoli airmails Spar. Napoli seems really surprised when she missed her target. Napoli, a little bit of the reason that PLU came alive at the end of the third period. So Mackay does point guard duty right now. Zone defense from PLU. Romo, another 3, and Pioneers hit that 6. 3-pointers made, and the largest lead of the game by anyone. 52-43, 8:01 to go. Romo, 3 of 7 from 3. Nice answer drive by Javernick. Romo has 11 points, third in the double figures for Lewis and Clark, led by the 13 from Richards. Down low, Schaefer, great positioning, and draws the foul. Spar picks up Spar's third. No, it was still on Javernick. On the help, that's a third on Javernick. So you have 3 on Javernick, 4 on Edmonds. Edmonds has only played about 9 minutes coming into this period. Schaefer missed the free throw. 13 from Napoli, but 8 from Schmidtke. Great bench production for the Lutes tonight. Schaefer makes the second. Pioneers lead by 8. Schmidtke has 8.6 from Katie Cook, and Jada Wood has 3. Schmidtke comes off, back in as Maddie Simmelink. Simmelink only averaging about 7 per game. Pull up 3 by Napoli, swirls out. Offensive rebound by Spar. Out, open look, Edmonds for 3, that's a good hit. Much needed 3-pointer for PLU. 53-48. Early fourth quarter, lots of time for the first conference win on the line. Northwest Conference debut. Richards, good screen, takes it all the way to the rack. Rebound, last touch by Lewis and Clark, goes to PLU. Little scoop shot, didn't go for Richards, and Carroll comes in for Schaefer. So Pioneers back to the starting 5, sans Beltran. Mackay stays in. Pioneers in orange. PLU in gray. Men's game comes your way next on Pios Street. Edmonds with 4 fouls. To the top, Napoli keeps away from Richards. Javernick drives in, and Romo tried to steal away, might have been called for the foul. It is Romo's first. Credit PLU too, the first half plagued by traveling calls. 7 of the 14 first half turnovers for PLU seemingly were travels. But has not been called as much in the second half. Inbound play. Napoli still on 13 points. Crossover, drives left, double teams. Skip out to Edmonds, open look. Missed that one short. Romo can't get the rebound. Put back, foul. Javernick, nice work. For the Portland area freshman, Carroll picks up her third. So Carroll has 3. Cerny comes in for Mackay. Free throws tonight, 3 of 4 for PLU. Lewis and Clark has actually been to the line 14 times, has made 9. And I was about to comment, Lewis and Clark on the verge of having back-to-back games of less than 20 attempts at the line. Pioneers hadn't had that happen at all in the first 6 games of the season, and against Walla Walla last Sunday only shot 12 times. Second free throw missed, as did the first. Pioneers catch a break. But tonight, yeah, Lewis and Clark +8 in free throw attempts. But we talked about Johnson, 4th in the nation in free throw attempts. Pioneers like to get Johnson to the line. Cerny at the top, drives right, lots of space. Napoli defending, high arcing shot won't go. And Johnson had the rebound, foul on the floor, 3rd against PLU. That one's charged to Javernick. Javernick also has 4. Timeout taken by Lewis and Clark. So 6:06 to play in the 4th quarter. Timeout on the floor, Pios by 5. So Gabby Beltran comes back in. A jump ball is forced with 5:59 to play. PLU has the ball. Napoli, Spar, Plevac out there, as is Edmonds with 4 fouls. And then Similink comes back in. Javernick was the one who had 4 fouls, comes out of the game. So a pair of PLU players with 4 personal fouls. Pioneers go into a 1-2-2 look full court. Beltran, gosh, Beltran's been so good defensively and forces. And look at Beltran. Getting the claps going, getting the yeah going. Stoked about that turnover for Lewis and Clark. Johnson, Cerny, Beltran, Richards, and Carroll. Richards open look from the top. No. I thought Richards almost had another. Would have been their second of the night. 5.5 to play 4th quarter. Game far from over. And PLU had a great finish to the 3rd. Here's a 3. Open look, too strong. Put up by Plevac. Pass up the floor. Pios weren't ready. Turnover, Lewis and Clark. So 20 turnovers by Lewis and Clark. But the Pios, -3 in turnover margin, a 19-10 advantage in points off takeaways. Simile Back out to Edmonds, couldn't get it to her. Johnson up the floor, trying to get it to Cerny, is fouled. And you'll notice too that Edmonds, the foul's charged to Simmelink, the second on Simmelink, fourth team foul. You notice Edmonds didn't try to get that ball back as aggressively, playing with 4 fouls. And in that situation, halfway through the fourth quarter, that's completely understandable. You know, if there's 1 minute left and you have to have a foul, then you would have fouled. Johnson down to Carroll, a high-low feed. 7-point margin. Pioneers have led by 9 in this game. We've seen 7 lead changes and 8 ties. Halfway through the fourth, Simmelink tried the same type of maneuver, couldn't squeeze it through. It's out on Lewis and Clark. So back comes in Jada Wood. Replacing Spar. Spar's 0 for 1, but has 12 rebounds. Portland debut for this whole PLU team. There were no competitive games last year. Well, I should say for Coach Hilburn. There are maybe some juniors who have been in this gym before. Turnover PLU. Lewis and Clark can use some more clock and try to add to a 7-point lead. Everything on the left. Skip to Richards, right side. Decides to bring it in. 10 to shoot. Step back 3 on the way. Off the front, rebounded it. Tried to squeeze it through to Johnson and couldn't do so. There was a lot of traffic there. Stays 55-48. Approaching the 4-minute mark of the fourth. Carroll, good job closing out on Wood. Into the post, triple team. Rolled it out, couldn't get it to the outside. Skipped away from Wood. Edmonds turnover. And Cook is in. Replacing Wood. Oh, sorry, replacing Plevac. And now Romo's in. Pioneers up 55-48. Out on top, Romo, who just checked in, 3-pointer. Kind of stalled on the front of the rim. Foul on Cerny in backcourt. That's the 3rd team foul of the period. Cerny's 2nd. So Romo's changed up. I think had a ponytail earlier. Now it shifts to the bun. Romo's on the left side guarding Cook. Napoli, high screen from Edmonds. Keeps the ball low on the right hip, drives and fouled. No shot, doesn't go. But free throws coming up for Napoli, and Cerny's picked up 3rd foul. Free throw, it's good for Napoli. But first points for Napoli in the fourth quarter. But this is very similar. It's a deja vu moment. Second free throw is good as well. Same thing seemingly happened. PLU, especially with Napoli leading the charge, helped even it up at the end of the third quarter. Pop up by Cerny, can't go. Rebound in the center, pulled down by Spar. It's very similar. Pioneers in the third quarter led by as many as 6. We're at 34-28. PLU outscored Lewis and Clark 15-9 down the stretch. 3 missed by Edmonds. Offensive rebound by Cook. Watch Cook outside. Has hit a couple of threes, skips it to the near side. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Edmonds drives on Johnson, missed it. Tried to pass it down low, got it to Spar, and a foul is called. No, it's not a foul, excuse me. Yeah, Edmonds. Actually, Edmonds, I think, was shooting. I'm still not entirely sure what happened to end that play. Carroll down low, right back to the basket. Nice work for Carroll. Carroll has 10. 4th Pios player in double figures, 57-50. Pioneers 2 off their game high lead of 9. 2:18 to play. Pass down low, ball's loose underneath. They whistle Carroll for the fourth. So Carroll has 4. Cerny replaced by Elstone. Into the game is Javernick replacing Cook. Free throw is no good. Spar got 2 because that's the 5th team foul on Lewis and Clark. Next one's no good too. Johnson tracks down the rebound. Looking for some help. Romo's there, can't get to it, and it's off with the Pios. Lewis and Clark was trying to get a timeout in from the bench, but never had possession to get it called. Johnson 9 rebounds. 2:09 to play. Lewis and Clark up by 7. Edmonds has played really well with the 4 fouls, but it's just 1 of 10 from the field. Should say played well to stay in the game. But aside from a made 3-pointers, 0 for 9. Tries to set a screen. Napoli lost off the. Well, they said it was tipped by Richards. Richards slide backward. Napoli blocked by Johnson. Napoli has it back. Out to Edmonds for 3. There you go. That's Edmonds with the 1 for 10 game so far. It's a big 3-pointer for the Lutes, 57-53. Romo to Johnson. High-low look for Carroll. Leaning and scoring. How about that? Johnson, a big smile on the face. Pios 59, Lutes 53. Carroll, what a night. 12 points on 5 of 8 shooting. Napoli pull-up 3, hit it. 59-56. PLU starts to press. Pios with 2 timeouts, Lutes with 1. Possession arrow favors Lewis and Clark. Johnson's drive, lost the ball. Arrow favors PLU, excuse me. 1 to shoot. Richards didn't notice. Shot clock. They never said it changed possession. Pios up by 3. 42 seconds left. Napoli had a 3, Edmonds had a 3. PLU's closed the gap to 3. Down low, Johnson on the floor going for the ball, and a foul is called. Fifth foul on Edmonds. Johnson at the free throw line misses the first. 30 seconds left. Free throw's good, it's a 2-possession game. Napoli. Leaning in, nice pass over to Spar. .4 seconds left. They're trying to look at how much time was left when the shot went in. Probably closer to 21.2. It might be about a second. They're showing 20.4 on the clock right now. I think that might end up being about 21.2. So the Pioneers have 2 timeouts. PLU has 1 timeout. 60-58 Lewis and Clark ball, leading by 2. Possession arrow favors PLU if there's a tie-up. The Pioneers are going to advance the ball using the timeout. The 30-second timeout used by Lewis and Clark, so they have a full. And PLU has a full. 60-58, Lewis and Clark leads by 2. It's a 2-point lead for Lewis and Clark. You can see that full screen graphic. It's Lewis and Clark 60, PLU 58. .21 seconds left. Lewis and Clark advances into front court. Elstone in the far corner. Carroll to inbound. Richards has it. PLU goes straight to fouling. They send Richards to the free throw line, 2 of 3 tonight. That foul's charged to Simmelink. 3rd foul on Simmelink. Both teams at 5 fouls for the game. 2 shots for Richards, makes the first. Two-possession game. Richards, 50% on the season, big free throws there. Napoli, pull-up three-pointer. Missed it, off to the right. Romo has the rebound and wrapped up right away by Plevak. Men's game is next. Pioneers can make it a 6-point lead. With 9 seconds left. Romo makes the first. Romo this season, 80%. Shakes off what she was seemingly worried about being a miss. Second free throw for Romo. That's good as well. Pios by 6. PLU uses its final timeout. So PLU brings the ball up the floor. Lewis and Clark has 1 timeout remaining. 64-58, Lewis and Clark up by 6. Largest lead of the half has been 9. The second half has been a much more complete basketball game than the first half. There were a lot of field goal droughts in the first half. Still was entertaining. Pios led by 5 at the end of the first quarter. PLU outscored Lewis and Clark 17-11 in the second to lead by a 1-point margin at halftime. Men's game comes your way next. One thing about PLU's men's team, they've been on this floor this year. Did not play Lewis and Clark as part of last weekend's Thanksgiving tournament. PLU played Warner Pacific and Northwest Indian College. So no timeouts for PLU. Clock does stop on a made field goal. So 64-58, PLU has the possession arrow as well. Edmonds is fouled out. 4 fouls on Javernick, who inbounds far side. 64-58, Lewis and Clark. Inbound. Spar out to Napoli. Napoli shoots the ball, missed it. And Romo has the rebound. Game's over, 64-58. (64-58), Pios win the game.